Phoenix Down Radio is on the air. With your hosts,
Klauss Nightbringer,
Seyrr Kimono,
Chille,
and Luna Vox.
Welcome everybody to Phoenix Down Radio, episode number 86. How is everyone doing tonight?
I had a chocolate shake. I'm feeling pretty good.
Woo! We're down.
I'm eating Oreos. I feel awesome.
We're down in the basement of the Free Company House, Seyrr. And if you guys are joining us live here at twitch.tv/Phoenix Down Radio and are on Hyperion, you can go ahead and join us too. We're in Shirogane, Ward 10, Plot 60, in the really pimp house on the corner.
Oh man, about 2 months from now, we're going to have so many more people able to attend, aren't we?
Oh yeah, that's true. 2.5 months, whenever they actually roll out with the world.
I can move my main character over
for bits at a time. Yeah. I'm like, Chille, get your ass over here. We're doing the show now.
And I'll be like, I'll be right there.
And 2 weeks later.
2 weeks later. By the way, I'm jealous because I miss milkshakes. They're not as good here compared to America. America has the best ones.
Well, did you have
believe that.
Did you have one while you were at FanFest?
Yeah.
Good.
I had a couple.
Did you get your Baconator and your Frosty?
Yeah, I did. They were lovely.
Were they everything?
But I do not recommend the Baconator fries. The Baconator fries aren't that nice.
Yeah, I've had them once, and I wasn't all that impressed either. So.
But the Baconator was good.
Baconators are life.
I love when you come to America, the things that you're eating are all dairy related, like mac and cheese and milkshake.
Yeah.
It's because we've got so limited cows in England.
You guys are the origin of cheddar. How can this be?
Yeah.
To be fair, though, if you want good cheese when you come to England, it's Wensleydale. That's the best cheese. Well, it depends on what you're using it for, of course. I like a good mature cheddar when I'm doing jacket potatoes.
You and your jacket
in America,
potatoes.
Those are baked potatoes.
Yep.
Sure,
I should talk with you
potato.
about... Yeah, I make really good baked potatoes. Not a Lalafell reference. Actual potatoes.
I say we take a Lalafell and put it in an oven.
Or just give it some weed.
That one.
I was with Seyrr on that one, actually. I found a new use for Geschel greens, guys.
If you dry them out in the sun for a while and then grind them up.
Chille might have tried that at FanFest too.
For those of you guys listening, you may hear a new voice on the show. We are joined this week by our great friend, Taliz Marvelous. How are you doing tonight, Taliz?
I'm doing good. Thank you for having me on the show.
Thank you for agreeing to help us with a new segment we're going to try out tonight. So make sure to stick around for that. What have you guys been up to since we were last here last year?
I was pitiable enough that some friends made me a new body piece so I could actually do the new content. That was nice.
Oh, nice.
That's good.
Yeah. I was like, okay, it's like I'm 2 eye levels short of getting into the Gimlet Dark. And then it was like 2 a.m. and I knew if I tried to spend my tomestones, I would somehow accidentally spend them all on MGP. Which people say is impossible, but I swear I would have found a way.
Seyrr can do it.
Life finds a way.
To waste all of its tomestones.
Also,
Yes.
I must smell because I'm the only one on this sofa.
Yes.
Do you want me to come over and sit on the sofa with you, man?
Yay!
We can't have both tiny people there. Like, the balance would be off. There we go.
All right, we
Thank you,
good.
Seyrr.
But so got to actually do most of the new content. Haven't done Orban yet, but I'm looking forward to that.
Oh,
You
buddy,
sweet
buckle
summer
up.
child.
I have gotten spoiler-free descriptions of mechanics, and I am kind of looking forward to it.
Oh, yeah. It's good stuff.
You look forward to mechanics, but don't look forward to the people that are doing the mechanics with you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, basically.
I'm patient. I still generally like people. 3 years of retail and then about 3 years more of library work haven't driven that out of me.
I like my little macro that I brought back because of this raid.
It's mechanics o'clock.
But no, basically I say like all your AoEs to the left, put all your AoEs on the floor to the left.
Nice.
I love it. I'm gonna need you to send me that.
I just have one of a Moogle driving a go-kart saying mechanics are for cars.
Oh my god.
I know, classic, right? I got that back in Crystal Tower.
Every time I say mechanics are for cars, my partner Bannon Maelstrom will just be like, or buses, because that's what he does for a living, is make sure buses.
Or bikes. Bikes also could use mechanics. There's so many things.
Just not your raid.
So many automobiles.
Lots of things we can use mechanics for, just not a 24-man, clearly.
Apparently, yes. So what about you, Chille?
Well, I beat the new trial. I did the 24-man raids. And did the stories.
Did you guys all have good holidays as well? Since we haven't talked to each other since before Christmas.
Right, that was a thing, wasn't it?
Yes.
It sure was a thing.
I made prime rib for my family's Christmas dinner. And
by the way, I drooled all day. It looks so good.
Yeah, if you follow Twitch.
My parents acted as sous chefs, and they actually listened to everything I told them to do without question.
If you follow his Twitter, you'll see pictures of what he did as well.
Oh,
it looks bomb.
Yeah, I was really happy with it.
It looked like if you poked it enough, it would moo. So that was perfect. It looked delicious.
Yes, thank you. I was very pleased.
And Chille, you got to see family as well, correct?
Yeah, I went to see my sister. My granddad came over. Saw my niece. She's 21. And my other niece who's 3. And no, she's 5. My nephew's 3. So
nice.
It was a nice family reunion for a bit. So.
How about you, Taliz? What were you up to over the holiday?
I have become sort of adopted by a friend of mine's family, so I usually end up going over there. They've discovered that the grandparents are having a harder time helping cook, but because I work as a cook, I'm able to help out. So now I'm basically second in command to Papa. So I'm pretty much just part of the family.
Nice.
See if you can get written into the will.
I already have adoption paperwork.
Ooh.
It's fake. It has little paw prints around the outside of it, but I have it.
No, Silver, you did not miss the episode. We're just at the beginning, so you're good yet.
But yeah, no. Just ask for the cookware. That's what I would do.
I'm sure he has better.
True.
You know what's funny? Most of my cookware is like super, super straightforward. It's like I have a cast iron, I have a rice cooker. I don't have a lot of tools. My tools are cast iron and knives.
But they're good quality ones, I assume.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
If you've got a good set of knives, you're set.
My knives are very pretty and unnecessarily expensive, but they can do really, really fun stuff. Like
if they cut things really well.
Skin.
I was gonna say, yeah.
They can cut the skin off of a tomato without cutting into the flesh.
Oh,
so
nice.
Yeah, they're pretty.
Wow.
Oh, so they're Ronco. Just kidding.
God no.
They're magic.
I'm kidding. You've seen.
And today on Culinary Heresies, it's Klauss.
It's Cutco/Ronco/whatever.
Yeah. But yeah.
Don't worry, I don't even know what Ronco is.
Good.
Keep it that way.
Yeah. It's probably safer. Aside than me, I did a lot of work, but was able to do a little bit of streaming. I think we finally got this whole audio thing straightened out now. Got a new mixer for the podcast, so I want to thank all of our supporters on Patreon and on Twitch here that helped to fund that. So thank you so much for that. Hopefully everything sounds good. I was really upset by the audio quality that went out on the last podcast episode. So I'm hoping this one is going to be much better. Aside from that, we are also signed up for Extra Life 2019 this year. So it'll be our third year doing Extra Life. And this year, we decided to raise funds for a hospital near Seyrr. So we're going to be everything's going to be benefiting the UCSF Benioff Children's Hospital in Oakland, California. So we'll be raising funds for that all year, as well as doing the 24-hour game day in November. And
I've also signed up.
Yep, I was going to say, Chille, you signed up under your own account this year, right?
Yes,
so,
I have.
Make sure to check
I
Chille out as
also
well.
picked, because it's Seyrr, and it's his one, I picked his to go to.
Oh,
very cool.
Oh, so we've got 2 accounts going towards the Benioff Children's Hospital.
Yeah, I thought I want to support Seyrr.
They're a big one in the area. They do good work, especially in the Bay Area, since a lot of families have to deal with high cost of living as it is. If you start adding big medical expenses in, it can become a real struggle. So I think they're going to really appreciate that.
But I set my goal a little lower than everyone else.
Every little bit helps.
Exactly.
I can boost it. I can change it in the future. But I set mine to 500.
Did you jump in on the platinum right away then, too, Chille?
Yeah.
Excellent. Because you hit that $200 mark, you get that cool T-shirt.
Yeah.
That's really it for the show news at this point. So let's go ahead and jump into some game and community news.
Not game news.
I know, like we talk about games on here. You know, why would we talk about the news with it, right? Because aren't we going to just talk about food?
I mean, we can.
In 10 days, I'm going to get Nando's.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah.
Will it be cheeky?
It'll be a cheeky Nando's. Anyway, we really should.
I know Taliz is going to be interested in this one. Square Enix recently announced that they're going to be doing a Final Fantasy digital card game for PC and mobile via the Yahoo Game Plus app in Japan only.
So is that like the trading card game just in a digital form?
Okay.
Not exactly.
We wish.
No. All right. So this news actually came out a couple of days ago, and they mentioned that they had copyrighted the name for a Final Fantasy digital card game. Of course, all the FFTCG players kind of lost their minds. We got really excited. And then the next day, this came out. And we were like, well, this isn't the FFTCG. This is something completely separate. It's more modular, where you're placing cards is important to how much damage you can do to your opposing side. It looks like a really good card game for mobile because, honestly, TCGs, if you've played Magic Online or even Pokemon Online, they're kind of tricky on mobile. There's a lot of interactions that you just can't do on a phone or a tablet. So this is going to be a little bit more faster paced and a lot quicker to play.
Yeah, it's definitely designed for mobile play.
And Duel Links as well. Duel Links is a good mobile phone game. That's also
Duel Links, Shadowverse from a couple of years ago was really good for a while. Hex isn't too bad. It got too complicated, though. There's a lot of good ones. This one definitely feels like a mobile game. There's a fixed count for turns. It's designed for who does the best as opposed to who collects the most stuff and has the biggest.
I went and posted a link from Nova Chrysalis talking about it. They actually have some pictures in there of what the interface is going to be like.
Ooh.
And it actually looks kind of interesting.
I mean, let's be honest. If it has the Final Fantasy name on it, a non-trivial amount of us are at least going to look.
Well, it's Japan only right now, so.
For right now, yes. There is, like I said, it's partnered with Yahoo Game Plus, which I don't know if they have anything outside of Japan.
There'll be a subreddit. People will explain how you make a Japanese iTunes account so you can download it. It'll be a thing.
Life finds a way. And by life, we mean
Chille hacks.
Gamers find a way. I mean, my PS4 has 2 accounts. One is so I can play PSO2. You know, it's not released in the US either, but...
Wait, how do you get PS2 working on? I must find out.
PSO2? I will link you some info later.
The point is, we are very single-minded people.
Yes,
If
we
it
want
exists
it.
and we want it, then we will get it.
that's what
Just
it
like
is.
just like I'm going to buy a Switch because there's rumors that the new Dragon Ball Heroes game is actually going to get international release at last.
Ooh.
So yeah.
And also coming from Nova Crystallis, they finally released some more information on Final Fantasy XV's episode Arden. A new teaser trailer is available, and they announced an anime short, which will be released in February. Now, the actual chapter of DLC will be released in the game in March. So have you guys had a chance to check any of that out? Check the trailer out or the teaser?
FF15 dropped off my radar a while ago, which I feel bad about, but not bad enough to actually do anything about it.
I'm still disappointed that we haven't got an announcement yet of,
the 15 crossover and 14. I have a feeling that on the 3rd we'll hear something about it.
I hope so. I did take a look at the episode. Arden, a good friend of mine, loves 15, and we kind of got more into the lore, but it looks interesting, but it feels like, oh, right, this is the last thing we're getting because you guys made a super critical error, and now we don't get anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like I said, I mean, I will check it out. I've enjoyed the lore from 15. I like what they did with the 14 crossover. I thought that Garuda fight was amazing. I'm not looking.
That was a blast.
I don't like the grinding aspect of it.
An aerial blast.
Womp womp, or should I say, womp womp?
You are having way too much fun with that thing.
Yes, I am.
Did it lift you off your feet?
Wow, Sarah, you haven't followed the channel?
Dude, I barely use Twitch.
Thank you, Seyrr. So good. Thank you, Seyrr, for following Phoenix Down Radio.
Yeah, I mean,
I usually log in through the website. I was opening it up and I was like, oh, right, I guess I should actually do this, shouldn't I?
Oh, that's hilarious.
I didn't realize it was going to expose my terrible secrets of general apathy.
There has been exposed to Sam A923.
Let's see what happens.
Oh, that's too good. That's too good. All right.
I'm putting so much effort into this.
I see. Yes. Speaking of so much effort, the Final Fantasy X, 10-2, and Final Fantasy 12, the Zodiac Age, are coming to Switch and Xbox on April 16th and 30th, respectively. So FF10 on the 16th and FF12 on the 30th.
Nice.
So who is excited for that?
I keep wanting to finish FF12. Like, everything I know about it says it's actually a really interesting game. And then every time I've gotten a good ways into it, something in real life ends up getting in the way. It's kind of frustrating, actually.
Like I said, I did finally beat 12 a few years ago. But like I said, and then I did end up buying the Zodiac Age for PC when it was on sale. I think it was this summer. So eventually I'll get into playing that. That's more along the lines of the international version versus the what we got, where basically everybody could do everything. And
yeah,
the one that we got.
And
go ahead.
The horrible system where if you ended up like opening the wrong chest, you never got your spear.
Yeah, I think that might have just been a glitch of some type, like memory addresses assigned wrong or something.
Yeah, it was a glitch. Basically, the item shared the same digits as the relic, so if you opened the chest, it thought you'd already picked it up.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yep.
Yeah,
with the story, the mechanics could frankly go to hell, but I loved the story for 12.
I liked the Gambit system. I thought it was intriguing. You know, because I played
I didn't experience the other job system because I live in England, so we got the Zodiac as our standard.
Like, I appreciate being able to give people clear roles.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the version we got here. So there's our normal edition.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Like I said, the version I played, like I said, the license board was the same for everybody. You could unlock everything, and if you were that desperate to do so, you could do it. But
you're right, though. Silverwolf, the story is basically Star Wars. In fact, Vera is in fact female Chewbacca. Yep. Fran is female Chewbacca.
Oh, does that make all your fetish art weird now?
Nope. Or does it make it better?
I didn't say worse. I just said weird.
Why not both? So everybody who plays on Nintendo and Microsoft consoles, now you can play some of these fun Final Fantasy games as well.
Yeah.
Just wait till you get 13.
They can already play 13 on
That's right.
Xbox.
Not on Switch, though.
Not on Switch.
Soon, though, I bet.
Well, no, I don't know.
if they released FF 1 through 6 on Switch for like $60, I would go right now and buy a Switch. That would be awesome.
There are a few
you mean
available
like a
now,
collection
aren't
of all of them?
Exactly. That'd be great.
Aren't 4, 5, and 6 available right now?
Are they?
Oh, on Switch?
Or I thought they were announced to be coming out soon. Or was that just 7 through 9?
I thought it was just 7 and 9. I don't know about... Because 8 they couldn't do because they lost all the assets.
Okay.
What are you talking about? What's coming to Switch? It's 7, 9...
I thought 10 was
10,
on the list.
12. Yeah, 10. 7, 9, 10, 12.
Okay. So...
Like the PlayStation stuff, not counting the one which they can't do.
Yeah.
At some point, they're going to remake 8 just on principle, and that's going to be really interesting to see since they are going to have to do it literally from whole cloth.
Pretty much.
Well, I wonder if maybe the whole experience with 7 is going to kind of give them the idea what it'll take to do it.
I mean, even with 7, they at least had some of the original assets to work from. 8,
and
they have
had
to
a
start
fan base.
That too. 8, they have to start completely from scratch. Oh man, I wonder if like any of those library classes are going to use this as an example for archival issues.
I mean, if you're helping teach the class, you absolutely can.
I mean, I'm not teaching classes. I don't have a PhD.
This is why you use backups, folks.
They lost a lot of stuff for 9 as well.
Didn't know that one.
Yeah.
All right, moving on. They also announced a actual date and time for the next live letter. It will be February 3rd at 1 a.m. Pacific time from the Paris Fan Festival.
Yay!
So topics will include...
Hey, Seyrr, you want to stay up late with me that night?
1 a.m.? That's like normal for me.
Okay, fine.
I mean, I'm normally awake at that time anyways.
I shall join you maybe if I'm awake.
We can make it a thing.
Okay, that's like a worse decision for you than it is for me.
Well, it's 10 a.m., 9 a.m.
Oh, wait, right. Okay, that's actually legit.
I say, for once this is a normal time, and you're like, no, Ben, don't do that.
For me, it's going to be the bad decision because that'll be 3 a.m.
Yeah.
But I'll probably do it because there's actually going to be an English translation since it's going to be from France. So topics are going to include probably patch 4.55 info, so maybe MSQ Part 2, but they also will have special guest Ayumi Namai, the character concept artist, who will be answering questions from the official forums.
Well, no, I think 4.55, if I'm rightly, is Eureka and Hildebrand.
Yeah. Well, that's why I also said MSQ Part 2, which is 4.56.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we're going to get more information regarding what's coming up.
Yeah.
Jeez, Ben.
Well, I've been living up in Eureka because of that.
Yeah, we'll talk about what's coming from Eureka though in a bit because they did do some stuff even in this patch. So
yeah, a lot of good stuff actually.
Yeah. Do you want to do a quick gotcha roundup, Seyrr?
Oh, so let's see. I'm doing this mostly off the top of my head because I didn't get a chance to write down notes. Final Fantasy Brave Exvius is doing a Final Fantasy VII event based around Gaia's Cliff, which is the first FF7 stuff they've had in a while. For a while, it was pretty much just Cloud and Sephiroth as available units. So I think people have been excited to expand that out a bit. They've added Tifa and Vincent as 5-star upgradable to 7-star units, so those are the big prizes of this. Dissidia Opera Omnia just released another batch of Crystal Awakenings, the 4th wave of them, including very anticipated ones like Seyrr, I think, was one who changed the meta a bit back in Japan. Not quite sure how it's looking for our meta at this point.
Not bad.
They also do have the Gilgamesh event ongoing, and they did bring back the beloved Cactuar Conundrum for getting lots of crystals and leveling up your characters.
Oh yeah, that definitely helped get me to rank 433.
Mobius is beginning the second part of the first chapter of their second arc. That's a lot of sub-thingies, but their Warrior of Despair story has just released another section focusing on Maya and Sarah. They also are finishing up the New Year's event, which if you haven't done that yet, it's a very simple one to go through. And the first time you go through it, you do get a ticket that allows you to summon a single Supreme card as a nice little New Year's bonus for that. I got the Ultimate Jack Shot, the Earth Monk ability, which I am looking forward to crushing some stuff with.
And I got Bahamut Neo.
Mm-hmm. That one is a Fire Warrior ability. I think it's supposed to be pretty good. I haven't actually looked too much into it. It's one of the newest Supreme cards, so I'm not as versed on that as the others. And then in Record Keeper, they did just start a Final Fantasy Type 0 event focusing on the character Jack, who hilariously uses samurai skills, so the Samurai Jack jokes have been flying nonstop. Yep. They also did release the Type 0 Neo Torment, Nox Suzaku. I think, were they having an... I'm not sure on that, so I won't worry about right now. But yeah, that's the big stuff that's been going on in those right now. New Year's celebrations are pretty much wrapping up, and that's going to be the big thing for the moment until we usually start having spring festival type things somewhere around March, typically.
All right. Very cool. So, like we were talking about earlier, we did get a patch this past week. And we are going to keep it spoiler free when it comes to the actual storylines. What we're going to mainly be I can talk today. What we're mainly going to be discussing are our reactions to the content, and just kind of overall how we thought that they did and how we think it feels. So it's going to be a very high level. We're not going to get in depth on it because we want to make sure that you guys have the opportunity to go through and play it and enjoy it. And then we'll probably talk about it. We'll probably break the spoiler embargo next episode. So I'm going to go ahead and link the patch notes for everybody if you guys want to follow along and see what's going on. We're not going to read through all of them, but if you're interested in seeing what came out, there you go. So, first thing that the biggest part that came out was we, of course, did get new MSQ. And with that, we got our one dungeon, the Gimlet Dark.
This is one of my favorite dungeons.
Oh my
the
god!
Entire game.
It was just oozy with style.
It was a bit short though.
Oh, it's short, but how fast can you do the burn? Like 12 minutes?
True.
I mean, it really got the feeling of war as like this kind of brutal, nasty thing.
I think
we reached a spot in my run where we hit a spot and we all stopped and we literally didn't do anything for a couple minutes as we just looked around because it was so freaking.
There's so much going on.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's a very lively dungeon. If you haven't had a chance to run it, it's very much a battlefield, and I think it feels that way. I think the designers did a wonderful job in simulating that, and like I said, I don't think that it's really too short because, like I said, it's action packed. There's a lot of stuff going on the entire run.
There definitely was a very fun throwback with one of the bosses. I've always liked a lot of stuff where there's things with references to previous Final Fantasies where knowing a little bit about it often gives you an idea of how to tackle mechanics, and that came in very handy here.
Yes, it did.
Are you talking about the second boss?
The second boss, yes. There's also various set pieces as you're moving through the trash where NPCs and various battlefield elements come in to complicate the fight. And that one, it actually apparently changes up a bit each run.
Oh, yeah, it does.
It does. I've gotten 3 different people.
I've seen 2 so far.
I've had one myself, and I heard about a second.
I think I've had the same people, really.
No,
I've run it 3 times.
Yeah, I've run it 3 times as well, and like I said, the first 2 times are the same, and then the third one was different. So I was like, whoa, what's going on here? And I was like, whoa, that's
I've gotten
cool.
a different person every single time, and it's absolutely buck wild.
Yes, I think it's great how it's being handled so far.
And we can go into more details about that next show.
Yeah, those of you who know what we're talking about, I think you'll agree with us. like I said, I have to say that it is probably my favorite dungeon overall so far, just because of the liveliness of it. The gear, while it's decent eye level, I'm not a huge fan of the look. Like I said, it's mainly going to be just for... Go ahead.
I don't think I actually got any pieces, but I remember when I saw the previews, I just was like, kind of like, eh. Like Scala, I want to go back and run it several times just to actually complete some of those outfits. But this was not one of the ones where I was thinking, oh yeah, I want to run that until I get a full set.
Yeah, for me, it's basically going to be turned in for Grand Company seals and maybe upgrading retainers.
Mine went to the exact same thing.
A couple are upgrade pieces for me, but...
Well, like temporary upgrades, yeah.
It's not something I'm attached to.
Or you can use it for alts as well. I mean, it is eye level 375 gear, so it's a good way to get those alts up there. Because the other content only gives you so many pieces a week. Like you can only get one from
Alpha
the 24.
Escape is uncapped now.
True, but does it people
want
to run?
380.
Is that 380? But it's a lot of pieces that you have to collect in order to get one piece.
Well, if you're after accessories, then that's just That's just 5 bolts.
Yeah.
Yeah, Alpha Escape, like, I might go for that just for the, hey, which are the ones that I can complete quickly.
All right. Anything else about main story you guys want to talk about?
So, in talking with a lot of the other lore mongers about it, it's interesting, but honestly, there wasn't a lot that either we hadn't already been hinted at, been shown in the trailer, or was very strong on the speculation of this is probably happening. Like, it felt a lot more like I certainly enjoyed the MSQ stuff. There was one of the longer cutscene sequences that I actually found really intriguing because I like that type of diplomacy. But it didn't really tell us anything we didn't already know. It seemed like it was more... It was more just like setting up the pieces for what's going to happen next.
Chille, you were going to say something?
I guess I agree with Seyrr. I feel like, I don't know.
Like, you got to set up the pieces. Like, that's an important part of it. But at the same time, it's like, okay, been anticipating how this is building all this and feeling like, okay, that's not really resolving much of anything.
Yeah, I think the first half of the storyline right now is basically just going to clear up those threads that were kind of hanging out there. All the speculative things is like, ooh, is it this guy? Is it this guy? Or what's going on here? Is this going to happen? We get to see some of that. And they kind of closed that stuff off for us. But we didn't get anything really super new.
Yeah, it's like, like some of those revelations were more like, okay, yeah, I thought so then. What?
Exactly. We're not going to get those what moments until part 2.
Like, oh my god, that's a thing.
Yeah, we're going to get that in part 2. I can almost guarantee it.
Yeah. I mean, that's going to be the final one to lead into the next expansion.
Yeah.
So just like where they had Before the Fall, that was the one that ended the the Realm Reborn stuff.
Yeah, with the Nanimo cliffhanger.
Yep, with the several cutscenes will play in sequence. Like when I see that message, I get up from the computer, go make a bowl of popcorn, get a drink, come back. It's like settle in for what's going to be a wild ride. I know something's going to be good there, but did not have any of those moments here. Which, again, maybe not that surprising, but I want that. That's what I live on.
I usually took that opportunity to just, step away, go to the bathroom, get a snack. Because, you're in there for 20, 25 minutes.
Yeah, easily.
I have a packet of popcorn ready.
How about you, Taliz? What are your thoughts on MSQ? Did I put you on the spot?
Was that directed at me?
Yes,
or Chille?
Taliz.
Yeah.
My MSQ, honestly, I got through the storyline and then I went back and rewatched all the cutscenes just to make sure I didn't miss anything. I wasn't too surprised at how the story's playing out, but there is a couple of scenes that I'm kind of wondering, does it need to be this clunky? Does it need to be this big when we could have solved the issue a lot more quickly if we had done things, air quotes, the wrong way? If old Raubon was in charge, we wouldn't have this problem kind of solutions. And it's like, we could be doing that, but we're not. Is that a way to sort of show that we're changing as an alliance? Is this a way that they want to tune the story? Or was this just simply, oh my God, Stormblood is enormous and we have Shadowbringers coming out in 7 months. We have to really close this off so we can move forward.
I think it's a little bit of all of them.
Yeah, I will definitely want to follow up with you about this later.
And Chille, anything you want to add?
Sorry, Chille.
Well, nothing about saying anything with the story, and I don't want to say anything because of spoilers.
Yeah, I mean, any other spoiler-free observations on the MSQ from you?
It has graphics and there is also audio.
Okay, so no.
You should enjoy them.
For anybody that's watching the show and that has no idea why we're being super vague, this patch came out just a few days ago, and we're specifically.
Yep, this is a 100% spoiler-free. We're gonna try and be,
I know I spoiled that it has graphics and audio with text.
Damn it, Chille!
We're trying to be vague on purpose. I'm sorry if it makes no sense.
Doesn't it say on the box that this game requires reading?
No.
That's pretty sure.
Hey, I got bad news, guys. If it requires reading, I'm out. I'll see you guys later.
I thought it was it had those hearing impaired things where it took text to speech.
Breaking the librarian's heart here, people.
And then the Lalafell did a thing, and then he did a.
Oh man, have you ever watched a TV show with the descriptive audio subtitles?
Rise of Heroes,
creepy music
Chip
plays.
2 version is now playing. Sound effect, Chille farts.
This was a terrible idea.
All the best.
Okay. Speaking of things.
That's the response I would get.
We also got a wrap up on the Four Lords story. We got the final trial with Seyrr and the Wreath of Snakes.
I haven't actually gotten around to that one. I don't know, the Four Lords just hasn't really grabbed me that much. I don't know why that is.
I think you'll enjoy this one.
I actually beat the Extreme.
I haven't
already.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'll tell you now,
most of the groups now are farm only.
In fact, I'm going to give you guys a warning. There's so many people right now that do Loot Master only for this Extreme already. It's annoying.
Because they want their Ninetales.
Yeah, I could see if it's the last one needed for that, people getting a little bit more desperate to be like, okay, just do this and then I can be done. It's not a surprise, but it is a disappointment.
When I did the normal mode, I was tanking. I kind of spaced out for a minute. I looked up and the fight was...
Yeah,
I'm going to tell you now that...
really easy.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you now that the normal mode isn't much more than much less than the Extreme. I think there's 3 or 4 mechanics that are different. That's about it.
I mean, we pulled him to a corner, I tanked it, and then we beat the crap out of it for 4 minutes and it was dead.
You did a little bit of moving back and forth, and...
We did a little bit of forward and back, and a little bit of forward.
We can spoil the Extreme stuff, right? Because, people can have to do the strategies.
No.
You didn't have to do something fun like skydiving or Dance Dance Revolution?
No.
No,
that would have been better.
Well, they actually left it out on purpose because of the negative feedback that they got from the other trials.
People are stupid.
I don't want to skydive. I don't want to do DDR. So then they made it simple.
I just want to stand here. Oh, wait, no, I'm just standing there doing nothing. It's just a cutscene. I want to do stuff square.
Yeah, you wanted to tank and spank it. Whatever.
Yeah,
yes.
The fight is not difficult. However, I thought the storyline was actually the best part of it.
The cutscene at the end is the only bit I enjoyed.
Agreed. The cutscene was awesome. The story has been fun. The fights, I do not care about at all.
Really, I didn't even care about the story. I skipped most of the cutscenes.
Oh, the story was really good, I thought.
The stuff about Tenzin, especially as a long-time 11 player, that kind of throwback I really enjoyed. That's the main bit that's kept me at all interested.
For me, it's just oh no, I've become evil. Chille punched me hard enough for me to be good. I'm yeah, okay.
I can do that.
So if you like the Tenzin story, Seyrr, you're gonna really enjoy the how this goes. So I would recommend jumping into this.
Yeah, do it.
All right.
Just do it.
I still need to actually get Suzaku. I never even got that one done.
Oh well, then you got a little work
That'll
to
be
do,
easy
huh?
enough.
You should have let us know. We did it clear this afternoon for somebody.
I was busy this afternoon.
You'll be fine.
I imagine I'm a tank. I don't imagine I'm going to have that much trouble getting a party.
Agreed. You warrior, right?
Yep.
Tank privileges.
I was actually amazed when I actually did Danger Noodle last night. I hit the button to join queue, and I immediately had a party.
Nice.
Wow.
As a DPS.
Danger Noodle.
Yeah, that's what I call him. Danger.
It took me a second to recover from that. That's really good.
Have you not heard that one? That is like my favorite name for a snake ever.
Exactly.
I only heard
Danger
about
Noodle
Eureka.
EX.
Danger Noodle X. That's if I ever do it a learning party. That's what I'm gonna call it. Danger Noodle X learning party.
Also, a tip for anyone that's playing the game: please do not join Loadmaster parties. They're the worst and scum.
Yeah, basically.
I've never seen one that wasn't someone trying to just scam other people.
Yeah. It was like I was trying to join one earlier, and there was like 9 groups. 2 of them were clear parties. One of them was clear for a friend, and the rest were Lootmaster.
That sounds awful.
Yeah, so
It's like, we get it. You want your 9 tails.
Okay, Nine Tails, that's fine.
Yeah.
Primal, together, get it together.
by the
Come
way,
on.
I am not a fan of the Nine Tails.
You don't like it?
No,
Really?
it's literally I like it, but I'm disappointed. I am really disappointed. It's just the fate.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That should have been the reward for the fate.
Well,
We should have been able to get the mount. for the
Fenrir
fate.
wasn't the reward for the dungeon.
Yeah, I mean, like, we already had a fate for that, and that was Ixion.
Yeah, but I don't know. I feel like they should have done it with this. Because, you had the mount.
Oh, you mean instead of Ixion?
Why couldn't we have both? I mean, it's just a shrunken down version of the actual monster.
I mean, I guess I understand where you're coming from, but like I said, they just wanted to figure out other ways to do it, and it was probably the only mythical creature they could think of that matched up with the dogs as well as it does. It's not perfect, but close enough.
You're not perfect.
I would
Yes,
have liked
I
if
am.
it got golden like some of the others. Like
Yeah, I think a reskin might have been nice. Or
it's not just that's the thing that's why it's not the fact it's just it's literally that's why
it's the same
if it
color
had been
palette.
something else, even if it just used the same design model, and I wouldn't have complained so much. But it's the fact that it's just literally the same model and the same texture.
Same with Fenrir though.
Yeah, but Fenrir is I don't know.
It is the exact same model as the boss in Snowcloak.
Yeah, but no dungeon gives them out really back then.
I think weren't there a couple of mounts in maybe not.
No.
In dungeons?
With
only
mounts.
one, which is from Alamigo.
Right, that was the only one I could think of.
Okay, I didn't know if there was one in Stormblood somewhere or not, or not Stormblood, but Heavensward.
No.
Not that I can think of.
It was mostly minions, I guess.
Yeah, as I said, that's why I don't complain about Fenrir because but when we've already had previous fates that give mounts,
Well, take it to the official forums, man.
No, because I'll get banned because it's the official forums.
I have a constructive idea. Ban.
As long as you avoid swearing at people, you're generally okay. Oh God, this is gonna be a thing.
Yes, it is.
Mouse powers. It's over.
Oh, I was trying to think of the line from Aladdin.
Who disturbs my slumber?
No, the ultimate is it ultimate cosmic power?
Phenomenal cosmic power.
Phenomenal cosmic power. Eeny, meeny, little space.
Why? Why though? Why does this give me accurate?
I'm gonna get us sued.
And we're sued.
Hey, I just got an email from Disney. I wonder what it said.
Oh.
What's that? We've been bought out by Disney.
No,
Sweet.
Yeah.
I'm buying a motorboat.
I'm buying a house made of Mickey Mouse faces.
Moving
because that
on.
Way
So,
Please.
How about that return to Evilise?
it sure exists.
I volunteer to go last because holy crap.
I'll go first.
Okay, Chille, go
for it.
first.
I skipped all the cutscenes.
I fucking hate you.
I'm flying across the Atlantic Ocean to punch you in the throat. Oh my god.
Dude, save some for me.
Ah,
Okay,
friends.
guys, let's get
We
a
love you, Chille.
GoFundMe to fly Chille back here to somewhere on the West Coast so Seyrr and Taliz can, yeah.
Well, see, none of it interests me that much because we never got tactics. So,
Okay, that's fair.
Okay, so I'll punch you lightly then. Okay.
But Fran,
like, we got Tactics Advanced, but the first Tactics never officially got here. And by the time Tactics Advanced come out, I wasn't really that sort of.
Also, Tactics Advanced stuff. It's not. No,
Yeah.
you wouldn't understand any with that.
Well-
So it's like
Like this
and
has
it
changed.
did come out. So it did come out on PS3, but again, I don't really play that many old games unless I've played them before. You know, if I have the nostalgia for them, I'll play them. But
Like
you
this
know,
has changed from "I am going to injure you" to "I feel pity for you."
Agreed. Okay,
you know,
so
it's like, yeah, I was confused. Anyway, I shall shut up now.
all right, Sarah, what were your thoughts on it?
So I haven't actually entered Orban yet. I got all the way up to it. I do have the eye level to do it. I am waiting to go until my friend Spender is free because he gave me a rundown of the mechanics without spoiling any of what's going to actually be in there. And we do a fair amount of stuff together. He replays tactics once a year, so I kind of want to experience it with him, just as like, hey, it's this long running thing.
yeah, that'll be a special thing then.
Yeah.
Absolutely do that.
Maybe
It's
stream it.
perfect for that.
Yeah. I mean, he said that he considers it one of his favorite raids in the game, so definitely looking forward to that. I was a little skeptical about, like, we all know that, hey, they had dropped hints about Fran and Vieira, and I was a little skeptical about how that was going to go, but I feel all right with it. I feel like, hey, they're introducing some elements in there. Matsuno clearly wants to do more stuff with this, and they gave him fairly free reign for a bit of it, which again I'm okay with. They dropped some references to Vagrant Story, which I am pretty much always down with. Love that game. So it's like, I know that this is just pulling hard on all the nostalgia levers for me, and I am down with that. I am also looking forward to being able to look like Agrius, because at the very least there's not as much competition for tank armor.
Yeah, basically, if you're the tank, you get the armor.
Pretty much.
Though I was able to get the pants this week.
I guess, yeah, the tank gets first call at the armor, but if they don't want it, then you do have a chance.
Woo! Because I didn't want to run it
Yes,
again.
Agrius is the best, and I get to be Agrius. It's awesome.
Klauss, what were your thoughts?
I still want to look like the leading man. I haven't
Totally fair.
I haven't seen it drop yet, but I'll get it. I'll get it. Like I said, that's the one thing that I want to get that aiming set eventually.
This is totally riding the nostalgia hard for all of us, isn't it?
Well, like I said, I didn't play Tactics either. I have it. I'm familiar with the story. I've seen playthroughs of the game, so like I said, I know about it for the most part.
Calculator is best class.
But like I said, the way that this game actually takes those characters and what it does with them and how the actual instance plays out, it is amazing. I think this has to be my favorite 24-man. As far as, the difficulty.
Matsuno, you damn miracle worker.
By the way, I am disappointed in the barred gloves, though.
They're They're gloves.
Because they're not gloves, they're rings.
Well, I think they're kind of neat. They're all shiny and bright, different colors.
Yeah, but they're not gloves, they're rings.
I mean, there's already a couple hand armors that did that as well, weren't there?
Mm-hmm. There's some crafting ones that are that way.
I was hoping for like rainbow gloves though.
We'll make you some special ones, Chille.
Yay.
But I really enjoyed the mechanics of each of the different fights. Yes, when you run it, Seyrr, be patient. And this goes for everybody out there. Be patient. This is like less than 1 week old content. We're not all going to have it, memorized right away. Mistakes are going to be made, and some of these particular mechanics are very unforgiving. So
that was one of the things I'd heard. It sounded like there's one where 2 different people told me that about 75% of the raid needs to be paying attention minimum, or else you will wipe.
Yes, there's a couple spots where, if you do things just wrong, you're hosed. And third boss definitely is probably the most unforgiving. It's Ozma level.
Literally. In words of She Heals That Tank, thanks, Ozama.
Yeah, basically. If you lose a party, you're pretty much.
Yeah.
But aside from that,
it generally does seem to be the case that the third boss is the most difficult one.
But all the fights are amazing. Storyline really good. I think it wraps up the Return to Ivalice very nicely.
Oh, that was one thing. Like, even though I haven't actually done the instance itself, some of the plot stuff they're setting up, it seems like this is something where there may be implications for the broader story and the MSQ.
I think so.
Like, I know for a lot of the other raids, it's been like somewhat self-contained in its own story, but this one, it seems like there's going to be much broader implications, which is exciting.
It's not like the Sky Pirates in Void Ark, where it's like, we did a thing with you, and now you're sitting over there, and that's great. And we can go visit you, but you don't really have relevance anymore. This is potentially something that's going to actively change what we see in the world, how Kugane works. It's going to change a lot, I think.
And let's get to your opinion then, Taliz.
All right. So first of all, definitely of the 924 mans, this is definitely my favorite one. Largely because of how they were able to incorporate things from 12, from Tactics Advanced in A2. And again, like Seyrr mentioned, the Vagrant story references that were in there. They were able to use individual characters, their names, some of their backstories, and little parts of mechanics definitely threw you back to, hey, remember this time when you were playing War of the Lions on your PSP? Guess what? You get to do that again. Except you're not playing War of the Lions anymore. It's you and 23 other people playing 14. It was a ton of fun to get through. The story was phenomenal. And Klauss, I got to watch you and Fusion run through it just the other day.
Yeah, wasn't that a trip?
It was really weird to watch it after having run it twice, because I got to see more of what was going on, because I ran it as a tank both times and you ran it as a DPS. So I got to see a completely different perspective of what's going on in the
By
fight.
the way, the War of the Lions, was the one that we got, not advanced.
Okay, so I mean that was the retranslated one, though. There's some stuff. There's some stuff even in this one they made reference to original translations of things. Like the original PlayStation one had some slightly butchered translation that became memes before we knew what memes were.
Yeah, like I always joke, the Alamigo dungeon again. I'll bring that up. There's actually the guard that says the mistranslated quote from Final Fantasy VII.
Right, to remember about attacking it when the tail is up.
Yeah, he runs off, says that, and then you say, don't forget to attack when its tail is up.
Which, I mean, is technically...
Blame your god, I will knock you all down. There's lots of really good mistranslations in this franchise.
Yeah.
Make sure you're paying attention to Seyrr's ads, is all I'm going to say.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But we had a lot of fun in the couple times that I ran it. You could tell that people were really excited to be there, as opposed to, like, by the time we got to the third part of the Crystal Tower, or even the third part of Void Ark, we were just like, can we be done, please? Do we have to do World of Darkness? Like, oh God. Now we're like, sweet, let's do the monastery. Hey, what are you doing on Tuesday? Hey, the service come up at 8 a.m. Let's go. Like, people are stoked, and it's really, really cool to see.
Yeah, I think it's, again, playing on the nostalgia. Like, I did not realize that this many people had played Tactics. Makes me happy.
I was kind of hit and miss on Tactics until actually a extra live stream a couple years ago when Remix Sakura was actually playing through it. Kind of reignited my love for it, and I ended up playing through the entire game on PSP while on layovers flying back and forth to Japan.
Wow.
Everyone loves arithmeticians.
Arithmeticians / calculators. Oh my God, yes. So much fun.
I could wipe a board with those guys.
Death by math is a very real strategy. My speedrun notes for Final Fantasy V is literally death by math and uses kind of the same idea.
Woo!
That's what happens in Ritterana, though. Death by math.
Ritterana Wipe House? Yeah, I remember.
Oh my God, people! It's Basic Edition! How do you not know what a prime is?
So I took a below 100 level math class in like 2001, and that was the last math class I've taken.
All right.
I'm just going to be over here in the corner, sad about the state of math education.
All right, so
I study Japanese historical lit. What do you want from me?
The ability to figure out the tip without pulling out a phone.
Just the tip?
Just the tip?
Just the tip?
Only
I love you guys. All
like
right.
a larger shovel to dig yourself into this hole.
All right, let's go ahead and continue on. Next bit we'll talk about is the new stuff that we got for the Gold Saucer. So they added Domen Mahjong as a new game you can play, and it is interesting. It is definitely interesting.
I won a match.
I did. I won one match inside of it. I just played some NPCs to try and understand it, but
yeah,
I haven't actually gone to do that one yet. I'm kind of looking forward to it, but also a little bit scared of it.
There's a decent tutorial that'll walk you through some of the basic rules.
There's a tutorial?
And
just do what I did and go against the bots.
Yeah, and also
there's bots.
There's bots. There's 3 different levels of bots: easy, medium, hard. And I beat the easy bots because I'm the best at Mahjong. And then I quit it, Mahjong.
Did you lose all of your money to Mahjong Hustler in the Gold Saucer?
Yeah, actually, that's one thing I'm disappointed about, by the way. I beat the bot. I know it was the easy bot, but you don't get any reward for beating him.
No, it's just for practice. That's legitimately all it's for.
MGP would have been nice because the matches take forever.
Yeah, they can take like over an hour.
My match against the bot took 45 minutes.
Yeah, I play for about 10-15 minutes.
When you enter this Mahjong parlor, several hands will play in sequence. Be sure you have set aside enough time.
So, I would have liked, say, 100 MGP. Or something. Just something.
Did they actually add Domen Mahjong to the challenge log? By the way, I'm loving that you can have it just show you what you still need to complete in the challenge log. Like, you can hide the completed stuff. I am very happy about that.
Either play or win 2 games against other players, and it gives you 5,000.
I will go check for you. Let's see if it's even on this. I shall check the challenge log.
Well, it's in the patch notes.
Yeah, but I'm lazy. Oh, no, I can't see it because I haven't unlocked it on this character. Curses! Fooled by my laziness.
Also, Klauss told us what it was already.
Wait, so it was either play or beat?
Yeah, I'm double checking right now. It's either play or win 2 games against other players, and you get 5,000 MGP.
But it does have to be against other players.
Yes.
You can't just Verminion this one.
No.
Though it's sounding like people may not want to. It's sounding like the Mahjong is at least a little more fun.
I enjoy it. By the way, it was funny seeing all the people crowd it. It's like, I was joking saying the fact that it's become the new esport.
It's participate in 2 Domen Mahjong player battle matches. So it's just, you jump in there, 2 games, and you get 5,000 MGP.
Well, I challenge you to
duel. Okay.
Oh my gosh.
Then the other new one that we got the Gate Air Force One. Now
That's a
this
fun game.
is a lot of fun. Seyrr, you haven't had a chance to do this one yet, though, have you?
I have not. My understanding is it's kind of a shooting gallery thing, like the Speed Square from FF7. But beyond that, I don't really know much.
Yeah, it's an on-rail shooter, exactly it. And you use your mouse or your controller to control the on-screen icon, and then you click the fire button to shoot at targets. There are 3 levels of targets worth 50, 100, and 300 points, and then there's also a 4th target that deducts 20 points.
I missed quite a few of those targets because I didn't really pay attention to the patch notes, and I saw red ones and thought, "Oh no, I better not shoot those."
And
then realized that,
Oh, go ahead.
Then I realized it was like the flashing red ones you don't shoot.
Yeah, you thought that the orange ones are the ones you don't shoot?
Yeah.
I'm just remembering that Simpsons where Marge is becoming a police officer and she's on the firearms training course, and at the end Wiggum's like,
"You missed the blind man. You missed the child."
Oh, Taliz, you get my Simpsons quotes. I think I love you.
I went to the same college as Matt Groening. Of course, I get Simpsons quotes.
Excellent.
But yeah, I've noticed that on keyboard and mouse, Air Force One is pretty damn easy. I think I've played
pretty easy on controller.
Unless your name is Taliz.
Wow,
I'm garbage at that game. So bad. No, it's fine. I'll throw myself under the bus. I'm terrible at it.
Well, he said in chat specifically, "I am terrible at Air Force One." ... Yeah.
Silver says he loves Air Force One.
No, yeah, it's good stuff.
So does Bannon 23.
My only gripe is I wish they would slightly change the scoring or the MGP payout. Instead of getting 4,000 for a perfect score and perfect score only, and if you miss one, you go down to 3,000. I wish they would just pay out the MGP as to how many points you got. So if you got 5,000, you got 5,000 MGP.
That seems like a reasonable scoring thing. Submit that.
Yeah, I mean, well, it might be something they change later on. I think at this point they do want people to strive for that perfect game. That's my guess as to why they're doing it this way. But again, it's just a thought.
Plus, people complain that they've got too much MGP anyway.
Yeah,
so.
that like me.
Yeah. Who complains about having too much money?
Well, what am I going to spend this other 2 million MGP on? I already bought the mount.
You remember the cactar?
Yeah.
Yeah, I had 4 million going into the patch.
Well,
I had enough to buy a stick. I bought my stick.
Have you considering asking Godbert to have the gold saucer start carrying cocaine?
Or, well, you can get your cum stuff.
That's a sentence that just happened.
Yeah, I heard it too.
It's a thing.
By the way, I never noticed that the cum stuff actually has an eyeball.
That's not helpful.
It's one-eyed.
Actively not helpful.
It's a one-eyed stick.
Oh, and I've got another Simpsons quote coming to mind. I heard it too. Here's some light music.
Well, it's back in day.
So Air Force One is an on-rails part of the game, and this podcast is a not on-rails podcast.
We've gone off the rails, baby.
Well, no, we're still talking about gold saucer because cum stick is cum staff is there.
Nope, it's over. It's cum stick forever. Good job, Chille. Thank you for renaming the in-game.
Oh, I don't want to buy one.
It's the one-eyed cum stick.
Oh.
No,
that cannot be the episode title either. Sorry, guys.
To be honest, I keep going.
Damn it.
I don't know if you guys have seen my Twitter sort of things recently.
Why are we leading to your Twitter?
Because a couple of days ago, I found some people promoting how much they beat Ulma and how amazing they are. I ran up to them and I said, I've got a stick, and I bought the wooden sword katana from Golden Saucer.
Nice.
Yeah, they've added the wooden katana with this update as well.
Ooh. So. Oh, man. So with that, the Holy Rainbow hat, maybe find something to be like cargo shorts or whatever. I can totally be a douche bro weeb. Make that glamour happen.
Yeah, so I ran up to them and said, you beat omelette, but I've got a steak. And they're like, nice steak. And then I shout out, Eureka, I've got a steak. And everyone's like, yeah, nice steak.
How remarkably polite and slightly unexpected.
Yeah, so I said, I am very, thank you. I respect your steak. And someone else said it was the best.
Apparently, Sammy wants us to delete all of ourselves.
Not unreasonable.
That means we've hit it big, fam.
Pull early if your steak is good.
Yeah.
We've made it, fam. We want people to delete us. Oh, but I'm assuming you guys have seen the new mount, at least.
I have. It's awesome.
It is so gaudy. Yeah. It is beautiful.
It jiggles, and I will never get it.
Boing, boing, boing. I think the balloons make it the best. When it's flying in the air, it's got balloons, and it's just so amazing.
Also, I'm mildly annoyed that every mount is a flying mount now. It doesn't make sense for a lot of them.
Oh, speaking of, the primal ponies, the nightmare, the unicorn, and the direwolf can fly now too.
Why can they fly?
Magic.
I mean, to be fair, it is a unicorn. You know, it is magic.
Unicorn should be able to fly. As should all of the primal ponies.
My little primal,
my primal pony, my primal pony. Anything else on Gold Saucer? I think it's good. It's not Blitzball, but it's good.
Works for me.
Anyone else? Taliz? Chille?
Nope. I'm happy that Gold Saucer has Mahjong. I've played it twice, and I'm done.
You're done?
I want my bike chasing game.
The motorcycle game?
We've already got the music. We've got the mount.
Yeah.
So,
I could see it. I hope they're working on it.
I'm guessing snowboarding would be next, though, after that whole Yoshi joking about he was going snowboarding after the patch went live.
Yeah, they can keep the submarine game. Not a big fan of that.
But we do need the Moogle game back.
Moghouse?
Moghouse.
Yes.
Also, thinking of the submarine game, I always found it weird in FS7, like, much later in the game, like, there'd be scenes where, like, if you find something underwater, it cuts to inside the submarine, and you still got those Shinra soldiers tied up there.
You will always have them tied up.
That's fine. They're your friends now.
That's not how friendship works!
It's Stockholm Syndrome.
I have some terrible news for everyone. I need new friends.
I thought that's how I became part of this podcast. I remember.
Because we tied you up in a submarine?
I feel like I'm an accessory to so many crimes.
I'm so glad that this is being recorded.
You know, when did we get a submarine for one? Oh yeah, Stormblood.
Yeah, there you go.
Wait, you've been around since before Stormblood, so yeah, we technically that couldn't have happened unless you're from the future.
Well, you know, I am British, and we know you've seen that we have a blue phone box on our beach.
Chille, you know, you are Future Man.
Oh God!
Yeah. Why did we let him have one of them?
I don't know.
We'd like to shout out to all of our patrons for helping us buy ridiculous equipment that we clearly use for the best purposes.
The best.
Oh,
come on. You guys know you'll love it.
2019 is going to have this shit.
Jesus.
Okay. So let's talk about those job adjustments. Chille, why don't you get us started on Monk?
They buffed shit monks. If you're a shit monk, you got buffed. Congratulations.
Yeah,
Yep.
Basically everything.
Basically it.
Everything got a potency increase. Basically.
No,
doesn't that also buff good monks?
No, because it only buffed the potency of when you're not doing the positional correctly.
Oh.
The positional damage has not been increased, but the non-positional damage has been increased.
Well, why wouldn't they have added that base amount to the positional version?
Because it's to help lower the ceiling, or whatever the word is.
Raise the floor.
Raise the floor, basically.
Like with Dragoon when they made those changes so it wasn't as harsh a penalty if you messed it up.
Yeah, instead of being 50 to 60 potency penalty, it's now only 20.
Okay, that's pretty shitty.
Yeah.
I mean, is that shitty? I mean, like, it's more giving.
I know, I've seen my damage increase a lot because of it. It's not just for shitty monks. There's a lot of fights in the last expansion, this expansion, where you can't do your positionals 24 unless you've got a good tank. Like with the Arboretum hard mode.
Chille is shitty monk confirmed?
Yeah. So...
Yeah, if you can't do positionals, especially on like the final boss of Arboretum hard, you have to keep going because you need to keep your grease lightning up.
Mistakes.
But now instead of getting a potency 130, you're getting potency 50. But now it's potency.
Yeah.
Was it 150? Yeah, but you just have to keep it going. So it makes sense why it's there, but it definitely, if you're a bad monk, it helps a lot. If you're a good monk, it helps a little.
Yeah.
But
the biggest buff is True North, which affects all melee classes, but that removes the positionals, and it's been reduced from, I think it's 150 to 90 seconds.
So you can keep True North up more often?
Yeah.
Nice.
I think it's because they noticed that a lot of the more recent fights are a bit more mechanic heavy, and you do have to face different directions and move around.
Yeah. Really, it's only down for 75 seconds because of the 15-second duration, so...
Right.
Which is pretty decent.
So if you time it in just the right locations, because you're not going to have that long of time frames when you're not going to be able to use your positions. It's going to be pretty small.
I find it times perfectly now in Savage Omega.
Maybe that's why they did it.
So.
And then we'll go in the other one that did a lot of potency increases. Machinists, basically, most of their skills had a boost to their potency. So,
I know Machinist has just not been great in the meta lately, so...
Even then, it's not. Bard is still better.
Well, duh.
So.
I mean, of course.
But I do want to know what's going to happen to Bard once they get rid of Tactician.
Well, it's...
Yeah, like...
It's not the fact that it's the TP, it's the reduction in mini.
Well, we still have
refresh.
Yeah, we still have the refresh.
Yeah, but at least for our group, our Bard needs to time both of them to keep the hate down.
Yeah, there are fights, or they may reduce the cooldown on it.
That's mainly because our tank doesn't use tank stance, by the way. So,
because tanks do DPS, right?
Yeah.
It's just a blue DPS.
Well, yeah, our tanks do about 4k DPS,
So then in your raid group, then they're also going to appreciate the fact that white mages have reduced end regeneration on most of their healing skills.
Yeah, which is good. Though it doesn't seem to have affected them that much, if I'm honest. It don't seem to have decreased it by a lot.
1%.
Because...
They actually
I've noticed a small change when I'm having white mages, but normally if I have a white mage, it's an 8-man, so I have 2 healers anyway. But it does help a little.
But with the change of our size, that seems to keep it the same amount, really. Because they can do it more often, if I'm rightly.
That's fair.
That might be why they did the reduction then.
Yeah.
Just to keep it balanced out.
Yeah.
So this is basically what we're going to have until we get Shadowbringers in the summer.
Yeah, because remember, these updates may not stick.
Depending on how they have to redo them. Because it's going to be a total rework of all the jobs when 5.0 comes out.
But this should at least last us until then.
Yeah.
Yeah,
because they're removing TP.
There's no other real big changes coming down the pipe that we're aware of, so... I also noticed that there were a number of PvP changes. Meh.
They're always rebalancing PvP.
Yeah, that one is going to be constantly changing just because they're watching how the meta is working there, and they need to make sure that something like that stays balanced.
Yeah, that's important to a degree that it might not necessarily be in PvE content.
Yeah. There was a lot of changes, and we're not going to go through any of them because most people don't PvP. If you're interested, they are in the patch notes.
There really should be a PvP podcast.
I'm a little surprised there isn't now that I think about it.
You gonna start one,
It
Chille?
is weird that this game doesn't we support PvP and the feast is amazing and it's fun to watch really good players do it, but just by and large, it's not really a huge part of Fortnite.
No.
There's not even really that big of a streamer nowadays that stream it, because I used to know about Joe Never Fail streaming when he did back in like 2 years ago. But really, there's not a face.
Play anymore?
I don't think he does. Video. Yeah, he's mainly doing.
I even brought it up to him if he'd bring if he's going to go back for Shadowbringers. He said no, so I'm sad.
Huh.
So.
All right, and I suppose let's talk about the other items that we got in the game. We got that new custom deliveries client. Adkira.
Yes.
Adkira.
Make sure you unlock that straight away.
Yeah, I'm kind of sad that I didn't do it right away Tuesday morning because I missed out on a level.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah, I forgot about it too. I could have done it, but I was up and I patched my systems, but I did not jump on and do that.
I was up till I tried to stay up all night and fell asleep at 9 a.m. I slept for 2 whole hours. I know, slept for 2 more.
Chille, how are you alive?
I ask myself that frequently.
The answer to that is Chille hats.
Chille hacks is true.
No, Chille hats, as in HATS.
Chille hacks hats.
Chille hats. Chille hacks hats. And he don't
That
care.
makes less sense.
Exactly.
When you explain something, it's supposed to make more sense afterwards. That's how
Listen,
this works.
librarian, that's not how things work in this game.
Look, you've never raided me, okay? People get more confused after I tell them the strats of raids.
I feel like that's more of a you problem.
It really is. But people laugh and it's fun.
All right.
Oh, well, that's okay then.
Does anybody else kind of think it's odd that 2 of the 4 clients are now in the same building?
I'm happy, but I'm also weirded out as to why they put 2 of them that close.
I mean, honestly, I think it's perfectly fine. In terms of the type of stuff we're doing, hey, some of our clients know other clients. Like, we're making business connections. It's not that surprising that they know each other.
That's the exact story behind it, but I don't know.
I don't know. I wasn't paying attention to that story. I was paying attention to the other story that's in it. That's more important. The second side story is more important than the main story.
Look at Taliz in the chat, trying to drum up questions. Wow.
Which second side story? I missed something.
There's didn't you pay attention to the female Lalafell? She totally wants some of that.
She does.
Yeah.
That's the only story I care about, whether she's going to get any.
I'm sure there's copious fanfic devoted to no.
I don't want to actually see it, but...
Yeah, you do. Don't lie.
You just want to know that out there, she's happy.
Yeah, that's all I want.
All right. They added a whole bunch of new housing items from the item design contest, so you can get your inner Bob Ross on.
Oh man, I do.
Happy
love
little
those
trees.
Happy little tenants.
They added a whole bunch of new craftable items, including lofts and stairs.
Yay! I'll wait until they go down in price.
They're actually they're really easy to make.
Yeah, they're level 45 carpenter.
Yeah.
I don't have that.
They're only like 30K.
I just spent 4 million helping a few people get their gear up so they could do quests.
But I do love how it's in all this like, okay, we have to glitch all this stuff. We have to do all these things. Oh, Square Enix is breaking all. They don't want us doing it. Here's lofts, guys.
But they're not very easy to use.
There is that.
Also, they count as tabletop items, so you can't put certain items on unless you glitch them.
Yeah, you can't put a couch on it.
Yeah.
I do think it's something where they want it to work. They just, as usual, have some amount of technical debt.
They're probably still working on a few things with it, but
if there's that much player interest in it, I think they're going to try to make it happen.
The idea is great. The implementation needs work. For instance, like I said, the stairs can only be attached to a wall, and
It also works on the what do you call it? So fake walls.
Oh, so
the partitions?
you can use a partition?
Yeah, partitions. Yeah.
It has to be a full partition. You can't use the half partitions, though.
No, it has to be a full partition, but still.
I mean, just from an architectural perspective, that kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
Well,
it's a load-bearing wall, Klauss.
But stairs aren't that difficult. You can design stairs to be standalone.
But these stairs don't have any to hold them up.
Well, hopefully
There's no like pillars to hold them up.
Hopefully we get some standalone stairs.
What's that?
Magic.
Deus Ex Heidelin, the same way that everything works in
She's weakened right now, remember? And you can't use... They haven't found ancient elegant stairs yet, so...
With Heidelin in her state, she is not up to code.
She doesn't have the power to stop gravity on those stairs for every house.
Damn it.
And they, as I said, they haven't found those yet, ancient elegant stairs.
They're in Crystal Tower.
Yeah, but those stairs actually have like solid things underneath it that connect it to the ground.
But they're not connected to a wall.
Yeah, but these aren't connected to the ground. They're just sort of floating there. The only bit that's connected to the ground is the base. So if you're halfway on the stairs, there's nothing sort of hold it up.
Yeah, I know, but you know what I'm saying. I'm hoping that eventually we can get a standalone stairway or stair set.
I want a spiral one.
And then you'll be building a stairway to heaven?
I'm on the highway.
We all are, Chille. We all are. Wait, what?
They added Lalafell and Rogadin mannequins.
So I made my house full of Lalafell mannequins.
I'm sure you did.
Skimpy outfits.
Oh, creepy.
Because Chille doesn't need to sell
of
anything.
Dolls smiling at you.
Do you need some calcabrinas just for accents?
Yeah, I do.
No.
You got one upstairs in her bunny in an angel outfit, 2 downstairs in their little bunny outfits. One dressed as a chef. They're the happy little Lalafells.
Okay, so how about those Eureka adjustments, guys?
Yeah, Eureka. They made some changes to Pagos.
That's also a housing I was going to say.
Okay. As long as it doesn't involve Lalafell mannequins dressed up for your sexual gratification.
I'm trying to remember what the... No, there's something else to housing, but I've forgotten it now.
You could look at the notes.
No, I was looking at the notes and then remembered something and forgot it again.
Oh.
If I think about it, I'll bring it up.
Okay. So Eureka, they changed...
that was it. No, that's it. I remember it now. Fish tanks. There's some new fish tanks. You can get new backgrounds.
Yeah, from what fight is that from, Chille?
Well, some of them are actually sold. You can actually buy some of them from the vendors in the housing.
I know there's a certain one that they showed off in the live letter. Where was that one from?
Oh yeah, the one from Tuscanomi.
From where?
Tuscanomi.
God damn it.
Tsukuyomi.
Tuscanomi.
Oh man, I joined a learning party for Tsukuyomi, and we got most of the way through.
Oh nice, you nearly cleared her. You nearly beat Tuscanomi.
Sadly, I have learned that is a fight where one person can wipe everyone.
Yeah, I learned that during one of my first clears. When they're like, look, Chille, they're like, because we're in Discord with my raid group, and I look, Chille, look how easy it is. We nearly cleared it on our 4th pull. And I'm like, yeah, oh my god, that's amazing. And then someone shouted, limit break, limit break, limit break. So one of our people decided to come Red Mage and did the Red Mage limit break. But they did the Red Mage limit break. No, they did that just as the fans were spawning, so everyone was blind and confused, and we all died from fans.
No! Death via visual effects.
Yeah.
That's awful.
Yeah, we died
Also
like 3%.
hilarious.
All right, so can we go to Eureka now?
Sure.
Everybody, let's all go to Eureka.
Now let's leave Eureka because that was good fun.
Okay, so they changed the rate that the NM spawn. You need to kill less mobs to get them to spawn in Pagos and Pyros.
Yeah.
It sounds like in general they've tried to reverse a lot of stuff that made Pagos kind of hellish.
They buffed the number of crystals you get for defeating NMs, and then the Aetherites are much easier to access in Pagos. For instance, the level 30 Aetherite crystal now only needs to be level 23, and the one where you accessed it from level 32, you only need to be level 25. I mean, that's a huge difference.
Yeah.
So it's going to be much easier to traverse the map.
I'm now level 34 because I've been running it with a friend.
Yeah, I mean, once you get access to the full map and you can just zhoosh across it, it's so much easier.
Yeah.
It makes it...
And I kept jumping on people's mounts.
It makes it tolerable. I mean, it doesn't make it great, but it's tolerable.
Yeah,
sometimes that's all you can ask for.
They still got those stupid sleeping dragons.
Yeah, but you don't have to encounter them nearly as frequently.
Yeah.
And then they also made some adjustments to the Logos actions in Pyros.
Yeah.
Like,
so yeah, now I'm getting close to my second part of the weapon, so I'm happy.
Nice. Well, they want people to be able to jump into Hydatos as soon as it's ready, so...
Yeah.
Let's see. I like this. Recast timer for abilities will now be reset when entering dungeons, trials, and raids.
Yeah, that's one that people have been asking for a bit, so it's nice that we finally have it.
Yep. So I mean, like I said, you're in queue. You are doing some crafting or gathering or something like that, and you have to change your job.
Practice against the training dummy.
Yeah, and then so your queue pops, and you switch jobs, and all of your things are on cooldown, and so you're kind of screwed. Now everything just is ready to go as soon as you go in. So that's nice. We talked about the primal ponies and all the new mounts that can fly. They also changed music for Red Hair, the Neza Chariots, the Whale, the Carbuncles, and the Panda. So they all have new mount music. I
couldn't tell the difference with the Panda music.
I haven't listened to it yet, but I've got the Hair and one of the Carbuncles, but...
So what changed?
I don't know. I haven't listened yet.
Yeah, I haven't heard the change myself. I have the Panda, but I didn't hear anything different, so... I heard a sound effect when he leaves. I don't remember him doing, but...
And there was a whole bunch of other stuff as well. So if you want to go through that, go ahead and check out the full patch notes that we linked.
At the Lodestone.
Yep. Otherwise, we will also put them in the show notes and in the description on the podcast. So, yeah. Like I said, probably on the next episode, we will lift the spoiler ban. And we'll talk all about the storylines and all that good stuff. So giving people as much chance as possible to go and enjoy this. So, because I thought the storylines were great. So
they sure were.
That dungeon is amazing.
All right. So we are going to be trying out a whole new shtick today. We're going to give Seyrr a break tonight with the lore, but... I'm sure he's going to be real excited about this new segment we're going to try today. And the reason
I am going to have plenty to say.
The reason we have Taliz on today is because Taliz is a real-life culinarian.
That is...
I just wanted to say that because, well, it's in the game. You probably don't actually call yourself a culinarian, do you?
I actually started to because it's hilarious.
Excellent.
If you watched me on Squad Says a couple of weeks ago, I actually, in my tagline underneath my Twitter handle, it actually just said culinary. Other dude was just like, catering chef. The judges were like stand-up comedians, and then it's like Taliz Marvelous.
Culinarian. Did you say level 70 culinarian?
I'm going to for the next episode.
Nice.
Level 70 specialist culinarian.
Yeah.
I am a specialist.
We are going to try something that we're going to tentatively call the prep station. So, Taliz, why don't you go ahead and tell us what we are going to be delving into today?
Okay, friends. So, for those of you who don't know me, I'm Taliz Marvelous. I actually am a culinarian. I grew up doing catering, and I've been playing Final Fantasy since I was 4 years old. I've been playing 14 since 1.0, and culinarian is one of my favorite disciple of the hand. So when we were talking about this a few months ago, we talked about like how would we do this, because reading off a recipe or explaining how to cook something in an audio format is awful, frankly. So we wanted to kind of go into sort of the history and the lore, look into some ingredients that you can find in the world and how you would use those, what their real world counterparts would be, and how they could potentially function not only in your Eorzean kitchen, but in yours in real life. So I wanted to pick a couple of ingredients that most people are pretty familiar with. And the thing that you see a lot on the like pre-printed shopping list, kitschy things, is milk, bread, and eggs. So to get started, I decided we would start with eggs.
The incredible edible egg.
Eggs really are a miracle ingredient.
They kind of are, and there's a ton of them in this game. So the first ones that you can find Apkalu eggs, Dodo, Pukes, and Gastornis. They're all pretty straightforward. Each one has a slightly different description. The Gagana egg, for example, says it's a massive egg. It's used in a lot of the 60 to 70 crafts. Most of the dishes are Asian in origin. It's things like popoto soba, shakshuka, takoyaki, egg foo young, baklava, mostly Asian style cuisine. And if you look at the different kinds of poultry that you can find in, say, the US or in the UK or in Asia, you get a slightly different type of egg. It's either longer or wider. Some of them are smaller or bigger. I know when I lived in Japan, eggs were shelf stable because they didn't get pasteurized. And that layer that's on the outside when the egg first comes out that lets it be shelf stable doesn't get washed off. In the US, it does. So you're going to get slightly different eggs that are going to allow you to make slightly different recipes. Chicken eggs is an item in the game. Now, everybody who has ever bought an egg has probably bought an egg from a chicken. Here in the real world, you might be able to find a really, really fancy egg at a really expensive grocery store, like a quail egg or something. But most of the eggs you're going to find are going to be chicken eggs. In Eorzea, it's labeled as domesticated chicken, and all the chicken ingredient or all the chicken egg recipes are mostly baking. It's things like Knight's bread for anybody that played ARR, raids. They know Knight's bread very well. Apple tarts, cornbreads, dark pretzels, ginger cookies, honey muffins. A lot of the stuff that's kind of, baked goods, which is what a lot of eggs get used for.
I do want to throw in, I believe Heaven's Word crafters also know Knight's bread pretty well, because I believe that's the one that's used for baked onion soup.
That is true. Knight's bread is used for the baked onion soup, basically a French onion soup and a bread.
So good.
Oh, yeah.
Very good. So there's one egg that I did see that just kind of has a really gross description, so we're bringing it up. The Okeanis egg. It's a soft-shelled, slime-covered, ever so slightly warm egg.
Freshly harvested, I bet.
If that doesn't make you want an egg, I'm not sure what will. That is like the grossest description ever.
Yummy.
Straight from the butt.
It's used for your name day cake and the king cake.
But of course.
Well, those rich people do love their expensive, weird foods.
Enjoy your name day cake. It came from a slime-covered warm egg.
Hey, that probably means it's like really rich.
Yeah,
it could.
It's probably nice. They probably wash the slime off before it's cooked.
I mean, I don't know. The only cooking utensils that we get are frying pans and knives.
Yeah. I mean,
there's water outside, right?
There's water crystal.
I imagine Eorzea doesn't have nearly as much in terms of hygiene as we do.
I sincerely doubt that they do. I mean, do we have running water? I'm sure somewhere in Heaven's Word there's a town with running.
Yeah, it's called a waterfall.
Fair.
Or a river.
There's some places with fountains. That counts, right?
Perfect.
Yep, so we do it all in like the fountain square.
Yeah. I will remark that in the real world, I have seen occasionally more exotic eggs. A friend of mine who raised ducks would use duck eggs on cooking, and I remember some roommates who, I don't even know where they got it, but they got an ostrich egg and attempted to make scrambled eggs from it.
It doesn't work.
Yeah, it was. really not the greatest. Like, they exist, but in terms of that large-scale industrial production to actually feed an entire society, it's pretty much chickens or nothing.
I think my butcher was selling goose eggs at one point.
You can get eggs from a lot of different creatures, especially if you have a really good butcher or a really good dairy provider. A lot of them have access to them. You just need to know where to look. And frankly, even if you have them, what are you going to do with them? You have to have an end goal in mind before you invest in doing something like buying an ostrich egg for one person. Doesn't really work out.
I think they got it as more of like a, hey, it's this neat souvenir thing from this thing we're busy. They had like, it must have been a farm or something. I know they had ostrich burgers as well. And they're like, okay, we're going to get this and try making it to see what. But there was definitely no plan.
But dude, you get that ostrich egg. Just think about dem gains.
All the protein.
Yeah. I don't think they even finished a quarter of it. Like, it filled the pan.
Yeah, they
massive. Had no idea what they were
it's like
doing.
12 to 18 chicken eggs, isn't it?
Yeah, it's about an 18 pack of eggs, give or take. But it's a ton of protein. It's a lot of water content, but it still behaves just like liquid protein does, where if you mix in like salt first or whatever, it's going to break down a little bit differently. It's going to cook at a different temperature.
I mean, if it's not expensive, then it'd be something interesting to do.
That was one of the things I heard, like with that, or the duck eggs. They were described as like, okay, it's like regular eggs, except it's like a little bit richer. But like they would use it in mostly the same way.
Yeah.
Duck eggs are definitely a lot more rich. They work pretty good with butter. If you want to do like a really like dense omelet, you could get a really cool flavor out of them. So speaking of omelets, very few things don't go in omelets. There's actually very few of the eggs that exist in Eorzea that get used in omelets, which I thought was kind of weird. Because normally when you think egg, it's like, okay, how many different ways can you make eggs? Omelets generally come up pretty quickly. But in here, we have the apkalu and the dodo omelets. And you're like, what else do we have? Why don't we use the chicken eggs for omelets? We don't. The Okeanos eggs, we don't. One of the omelets that is pretty popular right now on the market board, so level 70 crafters, go make some gil on this one, is the Priestly omelet. Priestly omelet is a pretty solid use of ingredients. It gives you a lot of good buff. I think I have a link somewhere. Maybe not. Anyway.
I gotcha. Priestly omelet?
Priestly omelet. Thank you, Seyrr.
Sure thing. So that one is going to give you the main status critical hit with direct hit as a secondary, up to 53 and 24 respectively if you're having it high quality.
Yeah, really, really good DPS. Now here's one that gets weird. It's a premium chicken's egg. It's called the Heaven's Egg that is used to make that omelet. It's blue. So I went, okay, well, where in the world am I going to find a blue egg here in the real world? It turns out it's pretty easy if all of your chickens are diseased. So that's bad. We don't want to eat those.
Wait, and Rowena is... She getting her stock from?
Yup. So that's where my first thought was, oh God, we're killing everyone. And then I went, no, there can't be. There has to be another kind of chicken that can do this because there's different breeds of chicken. The Amarucanas, the Arucanas, and the creme leg bars are all different types of chickens that sometimes lay blue eggs.
Yeah, they're not that, uncommon.
Huh. I wonder what makes it blue.
It's just a protein. It's just how the shell is built inside the creature. And not all the eggs they lay are blue. Similar to how some chickens, not all the eggs they lay are
brown or white. You've been cutting out a little bit here, Taliz. Careful.
Am I cutting out? Okay.
Careful with your push to talk. You can just go ahead and hold it down if you want.
All right, cool. But yeah, most chicken eggs are brown or white, and then these couple of breeds are going to get you blue ones. So looking into these, now we know that we can get these blue eggs. We know that Heaven's eggs are a thing that exists. So what else can we make with the Heaven's egg? And one of the things I found was the flognard. It's a baked French dessert, and it looked kind of delicious. And I thought, all right, well, I want to look into this and see kind of what it's made of in Eorzea, and then what it would be made of in the real world if I wanted to make it here. The Eorzean version is a level 64 star. It makes a eye level 250 spell speed, vitality, and critical hit food. It's pretty awesome. It comes with a golden apple, a heaven's egg, highland flower, sweet cream milk, sweet cream, and birch syrup. Okay, if we wanted to go 1-for-1 for ingredients, this one's pretty straightforward. A golden apple is going to be any kind of baking apple you could use. Heaven's egg is obvious. Highland flour would be probably an all-purpose flour, or if you wanted to get lighter, you might use a bread flour, something with activation in it, something with a little bit more baking soda. The sweet cream milk and the sweet cream kind of threw me off because I don't know why it has sweet cream on here twice, but then I looked into more of the recipes that use those two. And what sweet cream is it's more like heavy cream. It's this kind of cream that you would use to make whipped cream with. And what sweet cream milk is going to be whole milk. So instead of getting a 1% or 2% or fat-free, it's the whole milk that has the full milk fat available.
So
by the way, if you live in England, heavy cream is also called double cream.
Yep, double cream.
I've wondered about it on so many recipes. But so with both whole milk and heavy cream, this is going to be a very rich dish.
It can be, but for most of the things that I found, we'll actually get into full ingredient amounts and some of the adjustments necessary later. But it does get pretty rich and pretty dense. The last ingredient is birch syrup. So my thought was, okay, birch syrup, why am I not using vanilla extract or a vanilla syrup? Because that's what pretty much anything in the real world would be using, especially for a French baked good. So I got onto Gamer Escape and FF14 database, rest in peace. And I started looking through what I could find. Vanilla exists in this game. Real world recipe uses vanilla extract, but vanilla beans are available in the game, and they don't make a vanilla extract. So we don't have vanilla extract to use, even though vanilla beans already exist. So if you ever want to gather vanilla beans, they're a time node in Coerthas Western Highlands. Have fun.
I'll also throw in, because in the real world, a friend of mine who bakes says that vanilla extract has been getting more and more expensive lately. I'm not sure why. He explained something about it. Maybe you know more about this. But he said that almond extract is often a good substitute.
Almond extract can work. You get a lot of the natural sugar and the natural sweetness out of it. Vanilla is crazy expensive. It's not saffron levels expensive, but it's getting up there. It's getting harder to do. One thing you can do if you are 21 or over, or 18 or over, depending on where you live, pick yourself up a bottle of really cheap vodka, pour a shot out, pick up 2 vanilla beans, bruise them with the back of a knife, and drop them into your bottle of vodka. Let them sit for at least 2 months. Congratulations, you now have your own vanilla extract that was a lot cheaper, and it's going to last you a crazy long time because of the alcohol content.
Oh man, I gotta try this.
Yeah, so have fun with that if you want to make your own vanilla extract. Plus, depending on what kind of vodka you use, you're going to get a slightly different flavor. Obviously, higher quality gets better, but when you're baking with it, don't feel like you need to buy the really, really nice stuff. This is getting a half a tablespoon poured into an entire batch of cookies. So we have birch syrup instead. It's made from birch sap. Show of hands, who loves Diadem?
Yeah, well, I did. I made so much money from pterodactyls.
So yeah, Diadem or the Vanu Vanu are the best place to get birch syrup, and or birch sap, and then you're gonna be able to make birch syrup through that. So with all those ingredients, you're going to be able to make yourself a flognard and sell it to a caster on the market board. So now we need to make this in the real world. Well, pretty easy to figure out. We need some kind of fruit, eggs, flour, whole milk, heavy cream, and a lot of the recipes I saw actually used alcohol. So when we're looking at the alcohol, it says about a tablespoon of Kirsch. It's a clear fruit brandy. A lot of them you can find are sour cherry flavored. You can also use a cognac, a brandy, or a dark rum.
For those of you who love other desserts as much as I do, Kirsch is the liquor that you'll use in a traditional Black Forest cake.
That is correct. If you don't have those, you can pick up. I picked up a $7 bottle of brandy, and it worked fine. Like, you don't have to go like full tilt to grab really good stuff for this. Vanilla extract, we've already talked about. Whole milk and heavy cream. Depending on which recipes I was seeing, depending on if they were using berries or stone fruit or apples, I was seeing some of them using 3/4 of a cup of milk and a 1/4 cup of heavy cream. I was also seeing some that were just using whole milk. I didn't see any that went super heavy into the heavy cream. So if you don't have it, don't buy an entire pint of it to use 4 ounces. That's ridiculous. You can just use whole milk. You will have a slightly different fat content, but it's not going to be enough to super change your dish for what you're making. Most of the ones I found use sugar. The Eorzean recipe does say sweet cream and sweet cream milk, which means that their milk and their heavy cream probably has some kind of sweetener in it as far as the lore would be concerned. So here in the real world, if you're making it, you're going to want to include some sugar because you're going to need that sweetness because you want it to caramelize. All-purpose flour, I have seen everything from 1/2 cup to 2 cups. I've seen everything from as low as 50 grams to almost 200 grams of flour. I've seen everywhere in between. A lot of it depends on what fruit you're using, how deep your dish is. If you're blind baking it first, if you're using 2 or 3 eggs, it's all comes down to the science of baking, how much you need of any one particular thing. The recipe I sort of came up with was about 8 tablespoons, about 70 grams, give or take. It really depends on, you just want to make sure that your basically custard has enough flour in it to really set. So when it does bake, it sets into a loaf and not into a pile of scrambled eggs with apples in it, which was what my test fire for the first time I made this turned out like.
Ooh.
Yeah, I think I don't know if I posted that on Twitter yet. It's bad. Most of the recipes I found use between 10 and 15 ounces of fruit, whether that's thickly sliced stone fruit like plums or apricots, or diced apples, or a lot of them used strawberries or raspberries. Depending on which one you're using will change a lot about how much flour you need because of how much water you're going to get. You're going to get a lot more water content out of a berry than you are out of, say, an apple. But you're going to get a super different water content if you're using all apricots or all plums. So sort of keep your eye on it. I did mine in a 400-degree oven. Whisk your dry ingredients together. Mix your wet ingredients. Dry goes into wet. Stir. Butter the crap out of your dish. And literally just layer your fruit in. Pour the custard on. Throw it in the oven for about half an hour or so. Depends on how hot your oven is. Altitude. Type of pan. Heads up, don't use an enameled cast iron pan. That worked terribly. I use a glass bottom dish. It worked just fine. You're able to make a nice loaf. Once it comes out, get it out of the pan as soon as it's set enough that you can do so. Let it cool completely. Goes awesome with ice cream. Goes awesome with whipped cream.
Sounds good.
So now that everybody's super, super, super hungry, some of the things that I noticed when I was making it in the real world: moisture from the apples, less than great results. Like I said, I ended up with scrambled eggs with apples in them. Different pans. If you're using something like an apple or a pear, a little bit more vanilla extract wouldn't help because they're so dense. Depends on your area, depends on how large or fresh your fruit is. Use the best fruit that you have available to you, because the fresher your product is and the fresher your items are, the better result you're going to get. What I'm able to get in Western Washington might be different than what you're getting in Texas or the East Coast or wherever you're listening from. So just bear in mind that you want to get fresher, the better. You are baking it, so you're going to get a very different result than if you were just eating it fresh.
I think everybody's hungry right now.
Yeah, I'm thinking about delicious food.
I'm checking my pantry.
Excellent. There was actually one other thing that I wanted to make because I saw that it was made with the heaven's egg and I frankly know that I'm terrible at baking. So I said, I want to make one thing that I know I can make by heart, and I know that I can do and have it turn out. And it turns out that particular item is something that you can make in Eorzea as well.
There's like 4 or 5 items you can make with the Heaven's Egg that I really like, so I'm kind of curious where we're going with this.
Spaghetti carbonara.
Are you seeing anyone?
Sam May and I are sort of partners in a weird platonic way.
Damn it! How do you feel about polyamory?
Considering you live like 700 miles away, we can talk.
So anyway.
Hi, Sam May. Okay.
Yo.
So, spaghetti carbonara is an Italian dish. It was normally designed as a midday lunch for coal workers. It was something very dense. It had pasta, it had eggs, it would have pork. It was flavored with black pepper and usually used a hard cheese. So what the really hard part for making it is that your sauce is made with the eggs. A lot of the versions of carbonara in the US and in the UK and in Europe in general, sorry, I keep saying UK because I'm just picking on you, Chille. A lot of them use cream. The original traditional.
Why is UK picking on me?
Because you live there.
Okay.
Yeah, like, I just want to rant really quickly. There's a couple Italian places near me that offer what they claim is spaghetti carbonara, but then it's like spaghetti with Alfredo sauce. It's like, fuck you. No, that's not carbonara.
No, that is definitely not carbonara.
That is Alfredo sauce that you have put smoked pork into and put way too much black pepper.
That sounds amazing.
It might be okay. It's not carbonara.
No, it is not.
You want to go traditional carbonara, and we're talking super traditional. You're not even using garlic levels of traditional.
Ooh.
The original old school, like you talk to the guys in Italy, you show them recipes for carbonara, and they just scowl at them because it's like silly Americans trying to make carbonara with garlic and Alfredo sauce. There's no garlic. Your main flavoring ingredient is the bacon. Well, rather, you're not actually using bacon. You're using smoked pork belly.
Or pancetta.
You're cutting it into lardons. But for most of us, buying bacon at the store is going to be infinitely easier than trying to find high-quality imported Italian pork. Nobody needs that. Just buy bacon.
You'll be cheaper.
Fine. It's a lot cheaper. So you cut your bacon into lardons, throw it into a cold pan, please. For your buddy Taliz, throw it into a cold pan and let the heat come up slowly. You're going to render more of the fat out of the bacon, and you're going to get a crisper and better result when you do so. So
remember, is this streaky bacon? Standard American bacon?
Streaky American smoked pork belly, epic mealtime style bacon.
Okay.
Get the bacon.
So, get all the bacon. Get all that browned off. Now, depending on where you're from regionally or just your personal taste, you might want to add something like an onion. Onions can get a little bit acidic and a little bit bitey. I find you might do a lot better if you're using a shallot. So cut your shallot as small as you can. It is going to break down because once your bacon is about 3/4 of the way done, you can throw a finely minced shallot into that same pan with your bacon grease, also known as the precious for anybody from the South. Stir that together. It's going to start to caramelize just a little bit. While you're doing all of this is important that you got this started, is you want to have your water boiling and you want to have your pasta cooking. Because your pan that you have browned your bacon in and that you've cooked your onion in is going to be your pan that you finish this dish in. You'll want to pull your pasta out of the water, drag some of the water with it. A little bit of the water and starch is a good thing. It'll drop the temperature of your pan. Start stirring it together. Don't stop mixing it and slowly add your egg. If you let your egg sit too long on the pan, it's going to scramble, it's going to curdle, and you're going to have scrambled eggs and spaghetti, and it's going to be super, super awkward. What you'd rather have is you want to keep it moving, and that egg is going to coat every single noodle, and you'll have a super rich, glistening pasta dish. Once you've gotten your egg completely in, that's where your hard cheese comes in. It's known as stone cheese for the Eorzean cookbook. You're going to want to use a Parmigiano Reggiano. Real good stuff. Don't buy the pre-grated stuff. All of that's covered in potato starch, and that's why it never melts properly on your nachos. You're going to want to grab a microplane, and you're going to want to grate your Parmigiano Reggiano. Keep it stirring. If you have any idea about wanting to eat this and be healthy, you should not eat this. This is bacon grease on pasta, on eggs, on cheese. There's nothing healthy, and it's totally fine.
I mean, if you need like emergency calories or something.
Emergency calories, or you just really don't like your foot, whatever, like however you need to make this happen. Your primary seasoning is going to be coming from your bacon or from your pork because it's going to have a lot of sodium content anyway. So as you're taste testing it before you serve it, note that it may or may not need salt at all, but it might need some. Black pepper is going to be your more heavy ingredient, and there's a lot of schools of thought on when to season. Before, during, after, 2 out of 3. It's almost comes down to regional. I got my my eggplant Parmesan recipe. I have 2 different ones I got. One was from an older gentleman who required me to make a pizza from scratch in his kitchen in front of him, and he gave me his mother's recipe that she hand wrote and kept in her pocket when she came to Ellis Island.
Whoa.
The second one I got from a second generation Ukrainian mom from New Jersey. When I say I've learned Italian food, I had to get tested to learn Italian food. So that being said, I still have no idea when in the world you're supposed to season this thing. You can season it at any point, but I will say if you're tasting it as you're going, you're going to know when you're going to need that black pepper. Open the top of your pepper mill when you're grinding it. You want it to be slightly larger than normal. Grind it kind of like you're grinding it for a really big piece of meat or a steak. You want those big kernels. You want that pepperiness. You want that bite that it comes with. Mix that together, top with parsley or a little bit more Parmigiano Reggiano. Goes great with a glass of wine, and enjoy embracing your inner fat kid.
I embrace him so much that I'm still him.
Me too.
Woo! Friend of mine always said, never the skinny chef.
Hey, good news. I'm very trustworthy.
Woo!
As Babish says, that's going to be an entrant to the Clean Plate Club, I bet.
Very much. Actually, fun fact, Babish's recipe for carbonara, if you watch it, he does use garlic. And he does use. So his recipe would not be considered super traditional. But that being said, if you look at a lot of his recipes, he's definitely taking his own spin. Like, I have a wok. I'm going to make fried rice in this skillet. I'm like, no, dude, come on. What are you doing? Like he makes some of his own.
Remember, if you're making fried rice, to cook the rice the day before.
Yeah.
Yes, always. You want cold rice. Taliz, I just suggested the Parmesan can go on nachos, and I don't know what to think. Did I?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you can.
Italian nachos? Is that a thing?
Sure.
I mean, can't you do anything with nachos?
See, Seyrr, here's the problem: is when you say stuff like that to me, I get really excited, and then I make something terrible.
I know. I'm kind of thinking about it too. Like, this is a shared problem.
Poor Rory. I don't know if I'm hanging for this. It's 11 p.m. and now I want food.
Yes, experiment time. So Sammy is actually my oh god, she's actually my one of my taste testers. She lives very close by, and she has tasted a majority of the things and some of the terrible things that I have made in my life.
Don't worry, it's 4:30 in the morning, and I want food.
I've made all kinds of weird stuff. I made tacos using raspberry jam and nerds. I made a compound butter using stone ground mustard. Neither of those worked, by the way, but I did make them because I was curious to see how it would go down.
By the way, if you want to watch someone that makes some weird stuff sometimes, go look up My Virgin Kitchen on YouTube.
Oh, Barry is hilarious.
Yeah.
Very, very fun. I love that.
your invisible tacos. When he made invisible,
he made invisible
tacos.
nachos too, didn't he?
Yeah.
He did make invisible crisps, invisible raviolis, or see-through ravioli. He made a clear pumpkin pie.
Yeah.
So anyway,
the clear pumpkin pie was fun. That was really interesting.
Yeah. Anyway, we're kind of diverging, so let's.
Food.
Are we about ready to? Do you think we can wrap this one up?
So, that being said, in Eorzea, if you're going through the culinary quest line, there's a lot of stuff that you can really learn if you're paying attention and you know sort of what to look for. Especially in the 60 to 70 quest line, there's a lot of the NPC giving you the quest wants to honor the traditions, but he also still wants to show that he has the creativity and the skill set to develop something new. And that's what a lot of chefs strive for. We never say we steal ingredients or steal ideas. We just get inspired. But if you look around, we fully steal recipes part and parcel from all of our friends. And we all know that we do it, but we all do it together. So if you find something that you want to cook or something in the Eorzean cookbook that you are interested in hearing about, find me on the Discord or message me on Twitter, and I'd be more than happy to look into stuff for you.
Yeah, and with this, we may end up expanding it into something else as well. While recipes don't necessarily work great in an audio format, we may work something out on as another type of stream or video series. So if you guys want to see something like that, let us know. There might be some things that we need to work out on that, but maybe we can make it like a Patreon stretch goal or something.
I'm down.
So something to think about. If it's something you guys really want to see, let us know. It's something that definitely will need some additional support on, but it's something we're definitely down for. I thought that was fun and very, hunger inducing.
Yeah, that is something I'm going to have to work on for the future, because it is now 8:30 p.m. my local time, and I am desperately, desperately wanting food, and I ate right before we started recording.
But then again, I think we can say that for a lot of episodes where we end up talking about food, so.
Very true.
Yeah, I started looking at all the Heaven's Egg recipes, and now I really, really want egg drop soup. This is your fault.
Well,
you are welcome.
You can always call your local Chinese place and get some.
I mean, there's Chinese, there's DoorDash, there's Postmates.
It's weird because, by the way, a small fan fact about England: most Chinese stores are shut on a Monday here for some reasons.
The local one is closed on Monday here too.
Yeah.
Well, it's the day they want off, I guess. So that's fine.
They must have registered it like the whole around the world then, if they all shut on Monday.
Yes. No Chinese food on Mondays. All right. I hope you guys enjoyed that. Thank you, Taliz. I thought that was a lot of fun. Something different, something new. And we'll have to see what we do for the next one. We may do some alternating between this and lore. We have to, like I said, a lot of still TBD.
I mean, I like hearing about the cooking stuff too. It is a bit of a weakness for me.
Yes. So yeah, I think then if that'll cover that, then that's going to do it for this episode. If you guys liked what you heard, please make sure to like, subscribe, or follow us out on iTunes, Google Play Music, Podbean, or whatever your preferred podcatcher is. And if possible, leave us a rating or review. It definitely helps people find us and lets people know what you think. If it's something you really dig, you can consider supporting us here at Twitch with your hard-earned money. You can subscribe to us, or you can use your free Twitch Prime sub and help us out that way. Or you can always go out to our Patreon page at patreon.com/PhoenixDownRadio. And all the proceeds we get there go towards growing the show. Like I said, we use it for upgrading equipment, hosting costs, and try and do some fun stuff as well. But whatever kind of support you give us, whether it's likes, retweets, subs, donations, it's always greatly appreciated. We really love interacting with you guys and the rest of the community. So, shout outs. Who wants to start? I think we should start with our guest, Taliz.
Yeah, I just talked for like half an hour. Let me go first. That sounds great. All right.
That way you can relax after that.
Fair enough. So shout outs. I wanted to shout out to my free company Unity here on Hyperion. I literally almost quit the game until I found them, and it turns out a lot of them were local. So we've gotten to hang out and meet each other and do a bunch of meetups. Shout outs to Mary Matsuri on Coeral, who does housing tour videos and has been a huge influence on my passion for the game and has been really helpful in me going to Cafe Eorzea a couple of times.
Nice. And we benefited
By the way,
from
I
that.
still look at my little thing you sent me. All that. Thank you again, by the way.
Of course.
Anything else?
How can they find you?
Oh yeah, that's a thing.
Yeah.
You can find me on Twitter at Taliz Marvelous, Taliz Marvelous. I'm friends with the show and Klauss and Seyrr, so you can probably find me that way too. I post pictures of food or things about cars or things about anime, so enjoy the nerdiness that is my Twitter.
What a weeb.
Very much a weeb.
He sounds like a nerd. I like it. Seyrr?
It's our people.
Oh, sorry, I was looking up local Chinese restaurants. Egg flour soup is so good, and I haven't eaten it so long, and I tried to make it myself, but I can never get the egg to come out right, and this is my white whale. So anyways, shout out to fellow loremonger Rockle, who was down in the area visiting from Oregon. We got to hang out a couple times this last week. I actually got to take him for some of the Bay Area's food stuff. He had never had proper ramen before, so we fixed that. But great to hang out with you, man. You are probably not going to hear this because I don't think you listen to podcasts, but whatever. Cool guy. You can find my Twitter, or Twitter. I don't use it very much, but you can find it at FFXIVSEYRR. I mostly tweet random neat stuff I cooked, which is not as good as Taliz's stuff, but I'm still proud of it. And also random interesting things that I found at the library.
Chille.
I'd like to shout out to Mushroom Radio, twitch.tv/Mushroom, shout out to Chille, twitch.tv, Chille. I'd to shout out to Gavin to get twitch.tv, Gavin to get shout out to Newcast twitch.tv, Newcast. Go check them out right now. I'll shout to Checkpoint XP for hosting me on Friday night, so go check out Checkpoint XP, one of the best esports podcasts and one of the best esports Twitches you can go follow. Also, a shout out to Phoenix Down Radio, which I'm on right now, twitch.tv, Phoenix Down Radio. Also, go check me out, PSU Live, at twitch.tv/PSU Live.
Okay, the sheer speed of that was slightly concerning.
I was extremely worried that you were having a stroke.
For those of you listening on the podcast, reduce the speed to about 0.25, and you'll understand all of that just fine.
Also, thank you, Taliz, for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Always.
And you can find me on Twitter at PHXDN_KLAUSS.
Yeah, you can find me at MGR_Chille.
Yes, that too. Sorry, Chille. Shout out to Taliz. Thank you so much for joining us. Shout out to Chille and Seyrr, as always, for being amazing co-hosts. Shout out to everybody checking us out live at twitch.tv/PhoenixDownRadio, as well as everybody listening to us out on the podcast. Like I said, we really do appreciate that. And I'm serious, if you do have the opportunity to give us a rating or review, please do. So that way we can, rule all of the Final Fantasy podcasts out there. I mean, be found much easier, and that. So if
technically, I'm your competition now, as well as.
Nah, you guys. The other podcasts are not competitors; they are all friends.
So that means I am also competing against myself. So go me! I will beat
We're rivals, not enemies.
I was about to say that's not how self-loathing works, but that is kind of how self-loathing works.
I will beat me at me. And I've mastered beating me for years.
If you want,
Are we still using phrasing? I feel like we need to be using phrasing.
Well, it is Chille, and we'll just let it go with that. If you want to check out the backlog of all our podcasts, you can go to phoenixdownradio.com. You can also check out our YouTube at youtube.com/PhoenixDownRadio for all of the backlog of the video episodes, as well as a few other little special bits that are thrown in there as well. So for my co-hosts, for our guest Taliz Marvelous, for Chille, and for Seyrr, I'm Klauss Nightbringer, wishing everybody a wonderful evening. Thanks for joining us. Take care.
Phoenix Down Radio is a production of PhoenixDownRadio.com and Illusion Productions. Final Fantasy XIV and Eorzea are trademarks of Square Enix. In-game content for Phoenix Down Radio is a copy. Open to music for Phoenix Down Radio is provided by Guilty Gear Rock You. Check out the Metal Chocobo theme cover and many other music videos at youtube.com/Guilty Gear Rock You. Closing music for this episode is provided by Guitar Wanker 90. Please check out their full version of Matoya's Cave and other rock video game covers at youtube.com/Guitar Wanker 90. The views and opinions expressed in this episode are those of Phoenix Down Radio and its hosts and do not reflect the views of Square Enix.